So in this video I am going to talk about how to stay consistent and exactly what we mean about having a good consistent life. So let's start. Basically, what is consistency? By definition, it is the amount and quality of work remain the same with time. Exact same or very similar in nature with time. So my question to you, do you really want to be consistent? Because clearly I don't. When look at my life, don't want to be consistent. I really don't want not to change. I really don't want that no matter how much effort I put, the result may be the same. That is one way to look at consistency, but that's not how I look at consistency. So I really want to put good amount of effort, but I want the output to increase exponentially over time. Let me tell you this by drawing a graph. Okay, it's a very nice graph, very important graph. Look at it. So basically what I'm trying to say is, here's one graph and here's another graph. Okay, this is effort. Okay, this is effort and that is the independent thing. This is the output. So what is basically output is it depends upon effort. In physics also we used to draw this kind of graph, and it's a life graph. Basically what I'm trying to say, it's correctly drawn. Okay, so basically there are two types of graph here, output effort and output effort, and basically the graph same, but what I'm trying to say is here there's a consistency graph. So by definition, if we apply it to consistency, what will happen? This kind of graph will be drawn, that the effort given is same and the output according to that effort is same. So increase of effort will give an increase in output. I don't want that in my life. Particularly I don't want that. Some people may want that. This is good employee kind of perspective graph, that I put effort and I get 25% increment, and that's a huge increment year wise, or maybe in government jobs I'll get a 12% increment or something like that. But I really don't want that with my life. What I want is this exactly. This is the effort and this is the output. So as you can see in this graph, the effort increases over time. Definitely it increases over time. But what I'm trying is the output will increase exponentially. Okay, so there's a straight line graph and this is not a straight line. So I want this in my life. So how can we do that? Let's talk about that. To gain that exponential result, what you can do, what I must do, is to put a consistent amount of effort, and that's a great amount of effort. So put consistent and high amount of effort every time I do something. That means you must put efforts accordingly what you want to get the results. Sometimes you have to put the same amount of effort and sometimes even more amount of effort. You don't have to look on how much effort you are putting, but you have to look how much effort you are putting accordingly what you want as the result. But it's not just simple as that. Consistency is not just related to work. So it's a very great point. And when I say consistency is just not about work, I really mean it. Consistency is everywhere. Consistency is having a cold shower every day. It is consistency. Sleeping 7 hours every day is consistency. Waking up 6 o'clock in morning every day is consistency. Reading 5 pages of a particular book every day is consistency. So whatever I am telling is not related to direct format of work, is it? No, absolutely not. But it is a consistent thing. So imagine your day as small boxes, and I am going to draw it out for you. So this is one box. So suppose this is the work box, what you want to achieve. So you have to part it. There are 4 boxes of work what you want to achieve in a day, and this is the day box. So imagine everything as a box. So you can apply this to any format you want, the boxing technique, and it's a great technique. So this is the basically work what you want to do, what you want to get done, and this is the day. So it's one day and it's the amount of work you want to achieve in one day. Now you have to think like this part you have to achieve in this part you have to achieve in this part, and this part you have to achieve in this part, and so on and so forth. So this is the first part of work. You can achieve it in the first part of day. The problem will begin if this mismatches. That means what is the first part of work you can do in a day? To get a shower, to read a book, to have morning tea, to eat breakfast, and to start your day, and to look at your to-do list, and then do something like that. Okay, but you have to wake at maybe 7:30 to get it all done, or whatever you time decide, you have to wake up on that to get it done. Maybe it's 9, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 5 in the morning. So this much match this. Now imagine the ideal situation. That means the first part is done in the first part of the day. The second part of work is done at the second part of the day. And imagine the entire work will get finished in the entire day. And that's what you want. That's absolutely fine. But the problem will arise when this happens. Suppose you planned some work which is supposed to begin at 8 in the morning and you slept late, or you slept even early but slept for a prolonged period of time, and the first part gets started over the second part of the day, because in the first part of the day you were sleeping and you were supposed to get up. And now, will it make your efforts consistent? No. I am not saying your output consistent, but effort consistent? Absolutely not. What will happen? The first part of the work will get missed because you were sleeping in the first part of the day. Now the first part of the work will happen in the second part of the day, and the second part of the work will be happen in the third part of the day, and the fourth part of the work will happen in the fifth part of the day. But fifth part of the day doesn't exist. So what will happen? You have to get that the fourth part of the work to the next day, and it will make you inconsistent again and again and again, and it will create a loop where you really don't want to be in, because it will create a very much anxious situation for you where you have to get so much things done in a very small period of time, which is not that possible. What you can do to increase the effort, what you can do to at least manage the effort in an equal amount, or you can just put more effort, what you can do to do that? Have a to-do list. The great thing, I have been always an advocate of the weekly to-do list, because ultimately it gives you a rough idea what you want to achieve in this particular week, which is much more flexible than a daily to-do list. You can also do environment conditioning, means you can condition that environment, have books that you want to read on the table, have the guitar next to your bed. Ali Abdaal always put a guitar next to his bed because he wanted to always play that, and earlier he didn't got the time to play it, but now he always sees the guitar and he plays it. He mentioned it in a video. Ali Abdaal is a great guy. And then a discipline thing, that means, and this is the most important thing, discipline always outperforms motivation. Motivation will always fade out, but discipline, doing things if you don't want to do things, is a great thing. Like it's one of the most novel thing a man can do to, or a woman can do to their life. Believe me, doing something that is important enough even you don't want to, that is one of the greatest thing human being can do, and only we can do it because we have consciousness. And setting a rough outline routine, so rough outline routine in what you want to achieve, you can have it on a paper. I am not getting into the to-do list, but a rough routine, that means you are not pointing minute to minute, but a rough thing what you want to really do. Okay, it may be of 2 days, 3 days, or it can be changed like that. It's not very much tough to follow. And after this point, what will happen, because you have constantly put enough effort again and again and again in a very consistent way, what I wanted to happen, and that happened to me particularly in college, is now earlier this will happen again, that is the effort and then output, but later on when the output start to pile upon, when you start getting output again and again and again, this will happen. So you really want this, the companies do this. Elon Musk had achieved this. Mark Zuckerberg in his own life, in the early days of his career, not in the early days, the peak of his career, because he is still the CEO, but there is a big team managing his work and all. Bill Gates retired kind of. So in their peak, they achieved this, and Elon Musk is currently, I think, had done that. But who am I to say they are much more successful than me, much bigger successful than even the country's economy, some country's economy. So I think their life should look like this, must look like this, because if it is just not possible to be like this and achieve that much amount of work in a short period of time, after a period of time this graph will appear, and this are very individual graphs. That means for one thing it can appear, but for another thing this graph can appear. So there are two graphs. Maybe video editing, suppose an editor is editing a video again and again for 3 years. Now he is able to edit a particular video in like 4 hours of time, and earlier he used to get it edited in 20 hours of time. Now he had achieved this amount of. But again, if you had started reading a book, now you are a fast reader, you can read much more amount of words per minute, so something like that. So hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Comment your question, I'll answer them all. Subscribe the channel if you want. Thank you so much. You take care.